Hi and welcome back to a new video here on my channel. Today we are building a PC for Misha. If you're following everything around the Nürburgring, then you certainly also know Misha. He's doing like car enthusiast videos all around the Nürburgring. And today we're building a PC for him for his gaming, video editing, and also for possible sim racing in the future. Everything, all the components we selected are paid by ourselves, except for the Corsair 5000 series case, which just got released. And on the table we have the Corsair 5000X RGB case, which we're not going to use for the build. We're using the Airflow version, but I'm just going to show you quickly the X RGB version first, and then we're changing to the Airflow version and start building the computer. This video is powered by the web hosting provider and experienced data center operator Hetzner with its hosting products for private and business clients. The recent AX51 NVMe server offers ASRock rack mainboards paired with the strong Ryzen 7 3700X 8-core CPU and 64 GB of ECC memory, which can be expanded to 128 GB if needed. The server is equipped with fast NVMe SSDs by default, which grant fast transfer speed. Not only the SSDs inside the Hetzner servers are fast, but also the provisioning time of only 10 to 15 minutes after booking. The entire rack design and also the cooling solution are developed in-house at Hetzner here in Germany, and with 24/7 support, high-speed internet connection, DDoS protection and matchless price-performance ratio with only 54 euros per month, you should absolutely consider their servers. Find more in the link in the description below. The Corsair 5000 series absolutely reminds me of the 4000 series. It's just a little bit bigger and has a few more features which I personally find interesting. I mean, we have glass on the side, we have glass on the front, but we also have glass on the top and also have glass on the right side. I'm going to take off the case from the table in a second, and then you can see it better, I guess. But yeah, it certainly has some very cool features that I wanted to highlight this case before we start building the PC. So for the front, we have air intake on the left right here and also on the right, obviously, so it can breathe, even though there is a glass panel in front, which is just a visual choice and probably not the best regarding airflow, but there's still plenty of space. I can fit my finger through, so that should be fine. And there's even more space right on top here. You can see, I can easily put my finger in there. So yeah, there is certainly some space for airflow, but I personally really like the design of having like glass here and here. Can take that off as well. You can see the dust filter underneath. That is a very nice design. Absolutely like that. My personal highlight is the side panel on the right. Usually I'm not a fan of having glass panels on the right, because you can usually also see all the not existing cable management behind the glass panel. And usually that's why I just like if this is a steel panel or whatever. But that is glass, and this is also still glass, but there is like the intake like inside the glass panel, and that's something which I personally really like. Let me take off the side panel quickly. And if we remove the side panel, turn it around, then you can see the air filter and everything, the dust filter is sitting inside the glass. That is a pretty awesome feature. I absolutely like this from a design or engineering perspective. And now looking at the side itself, we have like the magic door where you can hide all your messy cables behind, and that is pretty cool. That is really cool. And this way, it's solved perfectly that you can have your messy cables behind that, but still have a glass panel on the right side. A lightning node core is already included in the case. It's an RGB splitter for, 6 fans in total, 3 are already used, and also the fan splitter on the left. 3 RGB fans are already sitting in the front. It's very similar to the 4000 series X RGB version. It's the same on the 5000 series, but if you want to add 3 more fans, you can easily do that and already hook them up to the lightning node core. Space-wise, we can have a 360 radiator in the front, similar as our fans are already mounted. Then we can also have a 360 on top. Alternatively, you could place a 280 radiator on top, also 280 in the front. And that is a cool feature I absolutely like. We have the PSU shroud right here, so the PSU will sit underneath here, and most of the cases will just extend this right to the front, and then you might have a cutout here to make space for radiator or fans. In this case, this part right here is modular, so you can take that one out. And then we have a second one included in the delivery, and I'm not going to perfectly align it right now or fix it, but you can see this way you can make additional space if you want to extend the front further, like if you have a very thick radiator or fans, or even need space for pump mounting. that is a very, very useful feature. Regarding the components of the system, I decided to go for AM4 platform. I mean, I talked to Misha and asked what he wants to do with his system, and the main aspect is still gaming and then also video editing and later on sim racing. And I think AM4, especially with the 5950X, is still the best price performance. You get 16 cores and amazing performance. Decided to go for the Corsair 8 Dark Hero, which is the best board on the market for AM4 right now. Also impossible to get. And we're using the Velocity in the acetal version, which is like black and shiny on the side. I think the whole system will look quite nice in the end. We also have the G-Skill Ripjaws 3600 C18, 128 GB, also no RGB. There will be not much RGB in the system, but I think in the end, it should look quite nice. All right, I'm going to assemble the bundle. Yeah, also we have two Aorus 2 TB Generation 4 NVMe drives. Misha wanted to have very fast SSDs, that's why I decided to go for Generation 4 drives. All right, going to assemble the bundle and then I'll be back. I personally kind of like the design of those Aorus Generation 4 NVMe drives, but yeah, they just don't fit any kind of design. I will have to swap the cooler, or at least remove the cooler so we can mount it underneath the shield right here. And also the shielding right here will look much better than just, I mean, if you plug this in here, yeah, it's pretty much destroying the whole design. The bundle is coming along nicely, and I also just found this piece in the accessories of the case. That is pretty cool. 90-degree angled adapter for USB 3.0. I mean, the Dark Hero, it's not necessary because it's already angled, but in general, otherwise, that can be very useful. Okay, small fail from my side. You can see the first 360 radiator, the pump, and also the Lian fans. I just like the design of those fans with this like shiny aluminum ring and like black anodized aluminum. Looks quite nice, I think. But yeah, I just assembled this part right here, and then I thought, okay, let's check fitment of the second 360 radiator, and then I thought, oh, that is going to be tight. Yeah, you can see. That is not going to fit. I cannot fit any fittings in there anymore, which means as a result I will have to rotate the right 360 radiator so the fittings will end up on the bottom. I kind of wanted to avoid that because, yeah, with the fittings on top it would have been more convenient for the tubing, but all right, we'll have to disassemble everything. As much as I like the case design-wise, and also this part right here where you could fit in the pump in the front and everything is cool, but the radiator placement is so annoying, and I'm getting really annoyed right now. I rotated the front radiator so the fittings are on the bottom, and now I can in theory fit the radiator on top. And so you understand what I'm talking about. If I want to place the 360 on top, then I mean this would be my ideal position, but this way I can't put it because the screw holes right here are not long enough. They would have to be extended to the back in order so I can place the radiator in this direction, right? Which means that I would have to rotate it in order to make it fit, because then the holes would fit. But then at this position with the holes of the radiator in the back, it might collide with the mainboard. And I'm not sure about that. Yeah, why? Why is this so complicated? And there we have our RTX 3090 with a special feature inside. How's it going, Sheik? Right now, at this moment, I have kind of mixed feelings about this case. I absolutely like the concept or the design of the case with like the top and the front and the side and everything, but the radiator placement it's not good. It's really not good. And I mean, just look at this. There is no space left, not even a single millimeter. And I could only fit the top radiator by placing an additional 45-degree fitting from EK on the side. Otherwise, it would not be possible. This fitting would collide with the I/O shield of the mainboard, and you can see even here, there's like zero space left. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I like the concept, as I said before, but radiator placement, is not the optimal solution. And right now you can see I mounted the pump on the front radiator, which is something I personally do very often because it's a very convenient way of mounting your pump. But yeah, that's our 3090. If I want to just use the 3090 with an air cooler, it would not fit, as you can see. It would collide with the pump, but the EKWB cooler should be, I guess, as short as the PCB, and this way I hope it fits. I'm very curious how it's going to be working out with the EK block. This I/O shield was attached to the card via this frame, and this frame is responsible for dissipating some heat of the VRMs, and yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to attach to the EK block, but yeah, I will find out. Never used one of those cards with this exact design myself, but we'll find out. And there we have our EK block. It's the nickel acetal version, just to fit the design with also the CPU block. In general, I'm a fan of those types of blocks because they're just very minimalistic and very sleek, just like it, but not a fan of that you can see all those milling leftovers. I'm not sure how to say that, but yeah, all the small grooves you can see inside the block. I mean, I know that this is like design-wise, they made it on purpose. Autofocus does not approve. All right, but yeah, just personal preference that I don't like to see those marks. Excuse me, do you want a backplate with your thermal pads? Why are there so many thermal pads included in this backplate? Am I supposed to cover the entire backplate or what? But I don't know, because there is no instruction like anywhere. I guess I have to look it up online, but when did it start that they stopped including instructions? Like for the backplate there are no instructions, for the cooler there are no instructions, for the CPU block there were no instructions. Why is that the case? Especially considering that they think it's a great idea to have 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, 7mm, 8mm screws. I mean, you even get a screw size guide. Big oof. I'm making some good progress with the system. The VGA is already in place. There is still some stuff to do with the cooling itself. Most of the cable management is also already done. In case you're wondering why I decided to go for custom water cooling, Misha wanted to have an AIO cooled GPU. But then I thought, when I looked at the price of available AIO 3090s, then I thought, this is way too expensive, because the cheapest 3090 with AIO cooling I could find was 2,100 euro. And the cheapest non-AIO cooled I could find was 1,700 euro. And that's, well, it was not exactly that, but it was about 350 euro difference between the two cards. And then I thought, saving 350 euro, you can buy a pump, radiator and a custom water cooling block, and then you have much better performance than just the normal AIO cooling. Plus, if you upgrade later, let's say a 4090 or whatever is the card which comes next, then you still have your custom water cooling inside the case. You just swap out the card and you have better performance. And that's why I thought at this point, buying an AIO cooled version didn't make sense. This is just the much better option. By the way, that's all the thermal pads and screws which are left after mounting the water block of EKWB. Why is there so much stuff, like additional stuff included? I don't get it. That is so weird. You know which part I also like? This pump comes pre-assembled, right? The way it is sitting right here. And yeah, I want to use this port as an inlet from the radiator on the bottom back into the pump. And this fitting right here has been in like the way I bought this pump, right? And you can see this piece of plastic in here. It's from this EK tool. And that's not the only EK tool. I already broke apart an entire tool. And then I thought, okay, maybe this one was like a weak sample. And then I thought, okay, let's just use the second one I have. And now the second one is also gone. That is great. Fans and pump are now set up. Fans are limited to 20 to 40% fan speed. It's a very low fan speed. Like right now in idle, it's always somewhere at like 750 to 800 RPM. Should be perfect, can't really hear it. And pump speed also fixed to 48% PWM speed. For quick validation, I performed a Times by Extreme 3D Mark run. We have about 10,000 points, which is in line considering that I'm not running XMP so far. So we're missing some performance in the 2D score for sure, but just wanted to check if everything is all right cooling wise. CPU temperature maximum 76 degrees Celsius, that is in line. And also the GPU temperature with a maximum of 47 degrees Celsius, that is pretty cool, like literally. And now I know that all the blocks are sitting correctly, and I can proceed further with configuration of fans and also XMP profile and everything else. Alright, so finally done with the Corsair 5000 series build for Misha. I'm pretty happy with the outcome of the system. Visually it looks absolutely brilliant, especially with the combination of those EK titanium fittings with those matte black EK tubing. I think it looks absolutely brilliant and fantastic. The only thing I didn't like about the Corsair 5000 series is the radiator placement. The thing is, the top and the front radiator, they're aligned. So they're sitting exactly in the same depth, I would call it, like the way it is sitting inside the case. The problem with this decision is that you don't have much clearance for the back, and especially towards the mainboard with the radiator. It's very likely that it's colliding with like VRM heatsink or I don't know, a connector or the I/O shield. That could lead towards compatibility issues if you want to use two 360 radiators in the way I mounted them. You could maybe bypass that by placing the front radiator in the back the way you usually have it in, for example, the O11 Dynamic. But the way it is placed right now, it would be better if the top radiator was moved like 5 to 10 millimeters towards the front glass. Then you would have much more clearance towards the back and also towards the mainboard. And also they should have extended the cutouts for the radiator mounting, because this way you could move it more to the front and the back. That is also not possible right now. So that is the only thing I would kind of criticize about this case, considering that it's a recent case and a lot of people are using custom water cooling nowadays compared to like 10 years ago, obviously. But yeah, otherwise, pretty nice case, pretty nice system. Quite happy with the outcome. I hope Misha will enjoy his new system. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Bye bye. Okay. Nah, don't do that. She is also appreciating cases and boxes, obviously.